Hello, I'm Ben Bruce from Asking Alexandria, and you're watching richardthinks.org.
Tris. Hey everybody, this is richardthinks.org. Today we are in Baltimore, Maryland for the Monster Energy Outbreak Tour with Asking Alexandria, Attila, Diane, and more. And once again, we are hanging out with Asking Alexandria, but today we have Ben Bruce. How you doing today, brother?
Yeah, not too bad. A little bit sick, but good to go. Still horny, so it's all good.
Very cool. So how's the tour been? I know you guys had little mishaps, with the little bus incident and Danny, of course, being sick.
Yeah. Tour's been amazing, minus the bus crash and Danny rupturing his vocal cords, but honestly this tour's been a lot better than I expected to be. It's winter, kids have spent all their money on summer tours and they're saving up for Christmas presents and stuff, so I wasn't expecting it to be as good as this tour has been. The turnouts have been great, the crowds have been great. Even since Danny's not been singing with us because of the injury to his vocal cords, crowds have still been amazing, very, very supportive. No one's left, everyone's been singing along, so...
And this is your, I believe, the fourth show. It's not the of the tour, but in a row. It's the fourth sold out show.
Fourth sold out show in a row, yeah.
Even with even
Danny's. Without Danny, yeah.
So tell me, day of that happened that you guys found out. Tell me a little bit about how the day went down when you guys found out. Danny, was feeling a little bit down under the weather.
Well, like I said, I've been ill for about a week and a half now, and Danny got ill just before me, but he was performing regardless, with just a sore throat. We assumed it was the same as what I've got. He's got a sore throat, a cold, a bit of flu. It's the winter time, so we kind of ignored it, and he kept playing on it, and he woke up one morning we were in Philadelphia, and he was like, I can barely talk. Something is definitely wrong. Like, it's not just ill. So we were like, well, we took him to the doctors, to a throat specialist, and they put a camera down his throat and everything to check out what's going on, and he's actually torn his vocal cord, had to get injections in his neck and stuff. So when he came back and told us the news, it was maybe an hour or two before doors to the show, and he's like, and he wasn't talking, he was having to write shit down, and said the doctor said I can't speak, the doctor said I can't sing, can't do anything for a minimum of like 5 days, and it's like, oh fuck, what the hell are we going to do now? And everyone else on the tour found out, and thankfully they've all been so great. We've had the guys from Attila and See Stars, and everyone coming out and helping us sing these songs, so it was very scary, especially the first night going on without Danny, and with singers that they didn't really know the songs. They had to learn them before they came on stage and stuff, but yeah, it was very, very scary, and it's been tough, but like I said, we've got great friends that have helped us through it, and it's actually been quite exciting. It's kind of like fresh.
It's a unique experience,
definitely.
And from YouTube videos that I've seen, it seems like the crowd's been eating up, and you can actually hear the audience singing back. So, it shows that your fans are dedicated, and I commend you for that.
We're very, very lucky. We have a legion of very dedicated fans, which we couldn't be more thankful for.
Now, is Danny good to go tonight, or are you gonna have him come up on stage and then have back up?
He's still fucked. He tried to sing the encore in New York City, and I think he made it through about 2 lines for his voice just disappeared again, and he was puking for like half an hour after just doing that. So he's not good to go by any means. He's gonna try and come out for a few songs again today and see if he can make it through at least a few of them. But if he can't, it's not worth it, because the doctor said if he tries to just ignore it and sing over it, it could be permanent damage.
Kind of like an Adele situation where she blew out her voice earlier this year.
Exactly. And it's just not worth him pushing through these shows to make these happen as much as we wish we could, and then him never being able to tour with us again because he's got permanent damage on his voice. So we're just gonna see what happens. We've actually got James. Do you remember 18 Visions?
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they were a band a while back. Their frontman's flying out to us tomorrow to sort of take over the rest of the tour. And as Danny's voice gets better, Danny's going to start coming on with him and trying to make it through the shows one by one. So we'll see.
I mean, this is a packed bill. I mean, obviously you guys are headline. I mean, that's a great deal either way. It's a unique experience. There are some bands that actually kind of do wonder what they would sound like if someone else was singing. So I guess this is good. And you guys tour constantly, so of course you guys will be back.
Well, we'll be back very, very shortly. I think we're back in like March. So.
And then you got on top of that, you got a new album coming out. Of course you're gonna be back.
Definitely, 100%.
Very cool. So it's been a year, well, at least since it was reported. I've tried checking all dates, but that you guys were on the Warrior show. How do you feel about it now? A year later, after that, a year or so later.
I'm still really glad we did it. I mean, it didn't completely turned my life around. You know, I didn't wake up and find Jesus or anything, and now I'm like a saint. But it definitely helped me as an individual and the band, because it made me realize, you know, some of the stuff he said really stuck with me. And I haven't touched a drop of alcohol before. Well, I won't say that. I don't drink before we play anymore at all. And if I do, it's very rare, and it will be one beer tops. So, and that's because of that experience. And I was like, it made me realize I can't just get fucked up before I play and go on stage and expect it to be fine, because it's not fair on the band, it's not fair on the people that paid to come and see us play. And so that's one thing I definitely took away from that experience. So, you know, no regrets. I'd do it again tomorrow if I could. And
I respect that a lot, because I mean, you could tell that he was, you know, trying to tell you guys something, but, you know, it's a work in progress. It doesn't happen overnight. So
you can't just tell someone something and boom, change. You know, it was something that he made me realize, which is the good thing. You know, he didn't tell me anything I didn't already know, but he kind of put it into perspective as to where I was like, fuck, you know, this guy's making some valid points here.
So let me ask you, when you guys there was the first episode I was watching, he was like saying, okay, you guys gotta sign these. What did the waivers actually say?
It basically said if we were injured, or if we, I think it was worded so that if we died during it, because, you know, we're unhealthy. Yeah. If we had like a heart attack or something and we died, then no one could sue him. It wasn't his fault. It was our choice to partake in this kind of thing. So I was like, oh great.
The way he said it, he was like, it basically says that if you die, I can throw you in a ditch. And I was like, oh my god, let me ask him what it actually says.
No ditches. There was no ditch written in there. I was careful. I checked. There was no ditches. But yeah, no one could sue him if we were injured or died.
Very cool.
But we didn't, so we did.
So the film, Through Sin and Self-Destruction, that was a very good film. So what part of that was like the most fun for you to film?
My favorite part actually is the threesome scene that me and James have with Belladonna in the hotel room, where we fuck up the hotel room and we're getting drunk with her, and we wake up the next morning in bed with her. Because it was with Belladonna, which is cool anyway. She's fucking awesome, and she's a really lovely person too, actually. But we weren't supposed to be filming anything in that hotel. You're supposed to get permission and stuff, so we rented the hotel room out as if we were just staying there. And we had to sneak all the camera equipment in slowly, because there was so much of it, and it was just it made that whole bit exciting, because they could have called
like the adrenaline rush.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
What was the most difficult part in filming it? Would you just say it was that part that you just told me about?
The most difficult part of filming is Through Sin and Self-Destruction. I'll tell the most difficult part for me, probably, and Danny will agree to this, is the bit in the ambulance where I'm trying to revive him with the needle, with the adrenaline shot. It was real. It was a real needle.
Oh my god!
And I had to like slam it towards his chest and stop like this far away. And dude, that is so scary. He was petrified. I was petrified. I was like, dude, if I slip or if I go too far, I'm gonna stab this kid in the fucking heart with a needle. Like, this is bad times.
There wasn't anything in there though, right?
There was. I think it was just saline, because I had to do it where it all comes out.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was just saline, but still, dude,
you don't never know.
Scary. And then when we got to like, boom, and it would stop like that away from him, then they gave me a syringe without a needle, where it was like it was in him kind of thing. But I was like, oh, dude, that's petrifying. I'm glad,
like, you know, that shot didn't happen, because you never know, because there's some messed up people. Like, I don't know if you know about, you know, Bruce Lee, how they, you know, one of his sons, when they were filming, they switched out the fake bullets for a real bullet, and that's how he died. So
damn, really?
So yeah, I'm glad that, you know, you guys you didn't stab him. You never know, because there are some messed up people out there.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Very cool. So how was it like working with Stevie Black on your upcoming album? How did that go about? Where you guys were? How did you guys meet?
I mean, we were in the studio with Joey in Indiana, and we were doing strings and stuff, and we were like, dude, this album sounds so much more organic than our last two. Like, it sounds really, really big. It's great. Like, why don't we keep that going and get real strings and a real choir? Because obviously the last records have loads of choir and strings and stuff, but it was all done on the computer. We're like, well, everything's so real on this record now. Like, we didn't replace the drum samples or anything like that. It was all James's playing was, you know, we tuned the kit, and that's what you get. Same with the guitars and everything. And so I just said to Joey, let's do that. And, you know, so we looked up a bunch of composers and stuff like that online, and Stevie Black's resume was just so impressive. You know,
Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains, he's done Pink, he did Avenged Sevenfold's Nightmare album. So it's like, well, this guy's clearly good at what he does, and he's he does loads of different kinds of music. He's never done anything quite as heavy as our new album, but so we didn't know if he would take it. But we hit up his manager, put us in touch, and he was stoked to work on the project with us. And I'd send him. I already had most of the strings written, and I sent them what our ideas were. I sent him, and then he would write his bits, and then I think Danny went in and met him, changed bits around, and it was a really great process, and it's come out sounding so good because it's like you can feel the wood when you listen to it. It's really great. I'm very, very happy with how they've come out.
So how did you guys go about in choosing the church gospel for the album?
Obviously not very well, because they quit.
Quit
after 2 songs. Yeah, because again, we wanted the same. We wanted that organic feel. We wanted a real orchestra, and we were like, dude, church choirs fucking kick ass, especially gospel choirs. They got great voices, and it would be interesting to get a gospel choir in and do the parts. And so we got them in. They did a song called White Line Fever, and they were like, "What's White Line Fever?" We were like, "No, nothing. Don't worry about it." So like, okay, we did it. We'll do it. And then they did another song that we hadn't named yet, so that they were happy to do that. And then we got to the 3rd song, which is called Death, and they were like, "Death?" And we were like, "Yeah, it's just that's
just
part of life, isn't it? It's fine." They're like, "Okay." And we played them the song, and at the end of it, there's a breakdown, and the music all behind it, and the vocals over it are very Tim Burton-esque. It's like kind of crazy, and they were like, "This is completely blasphemous. This is completely against everything we believe in. We can't be here anymore.
You lied.
Goodbye." Yeah, we left, but we've still got them singing White Line Fever. So,
so you're not gonna. There's no. They can't come back and say you can't use that. It's done.
We paid for it, and they agreed to do it.
And they
signed.
signed
We're using it. Yeah, exactly.
You guys knew exactly what you're doing.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Thank you very much. Sounds sick. Sounds great. I wish they'd done the rest of the album.
I can't wait to hear it. So, do you guys have like a name picked out for it yet, or is that what in the recording process and everything? When do you guys pick out a name for the album?
Well, we've been going back and forth and stuff, and you know how the first record was Stand Up and Scream, next one was Reckless and Relentless, Through Sin and Self-Destruction. We kind of were thinking of going with the same sort of
picking like a
vibe that flowed with the rest, and we thought, oh, maybe we should mix it up a bit. And then we got into 2 mindsets. We're like, fuck, do we keep it similar, like so it's flowing, or do we change it so it's a brand new entity, or we don't know what the fuck to do. So right now we're still like in 2 minds with everything, and I think basically what we've decided to do is wait till the album's finished and mixed, and listen to all the songs in detail and in depth, and see which one really best represents, which lyric in the whole album best represents what the album's portraying. Are
you a fan of like self-titled albums?
I am a fan of self-titled albums, but only if it's your album. When it's like, this is the album, this is the best, most defining album we will ever write, kind of thing. And I don't think we've got to that point yet, because in my mind we write the best we can possibly write with every album, obviously, but we just always want to get better. So if this is our defining album, that leaves us nowhere to go. So we're not willing to put that stamp on anything yet. Hopefully not for another 10 records, probably.
No. You hear that? They aren't going anywhere.
No, fuck no, we're not.
Very cool. So how was your experience like playing Mayhem Fest, and then last year you guys played Warped Tour? How would you compare the tours? 2 tours.
Warped Tour was easy. There was no nerves or anything. It was like, this is fine, this is awesome. Everyone that goes to Warped Tour is into this kind of music specifically, and it's a younger audience that are stoked to be out of school for the summer, and they're out to have a good time. There's a million bands that you can either make friends with or make enemies with, and it's fine. And then there's Mayhem, which when we got the offer we were so stoked. I mean, Slipknot, Slayer, Motorhead, it's fucking crazy lineup, and we were so excited. But at the same time, we were really, really nervous about it, because Slayer fans, man, they're brutal.
They are
fucking brutal. And we were like, fuck, dude, we're gonna get bags of feces thrown at us. There's gonna be fucking death threats and people booing us off stage and shit. So we were really, really nervous. But it was, to this day, one of my favourite tours I've ever done. We didn't have any problems. Even the fucking Slayer fans were fucking sweet, dude. Like, we would do signings every day in the Jaeger tent, which you have to be 21 plus to come to, and it was all like Slayer fans, dude. Just like, you guys are fucking sweet. I haven't heard anything like this in ages. And I was like, wow, man, this is really fucking great.
That's just how I think music should be nowadays.
Yeah,
Don't. It's like food. Don't knock it until you try it.
Exactly, which is good.
And you know what? I was at the Florida date and the DC date of the Mayhem Tour. You guys played through like the storm. That was probably that was the most epic thing I've ever seen.
It was sick. We start our intro and the storm clouds just fucking come over. I was like, that's fucking sweet.
And then like you guys had to like lower down your stage banner so like it wouldn't fall or anything. And then like right after you guys did that, the little can of Monster Energy, not Monster, Rockstar drink, like it literally got knocked down by the wind, but you guys still went in there and like kicked ass.
Yeah, dude, it was sick. I enjoyed it.
And and then later, I'm not knocking him by many means, but Kerry King canceled his signing like an hour later after everything had cleared, and I'm like,
we sat, even when we were doing our signing, there was a fucking storm. We were like, fuck it, dude. That's the way of the world, and you've got to deal with what you're given. They told us that the guys were like, you can cancel the show if you want and postpone it because it's kind of dangerous and we don't know if people are going to stick around through a storm.
Nope, they all stuck around.
Man, we're going to go out there and fucking play.
They stuck around, and I will stick a video annotation to show you. I got a video of that, and people were still throwing down.
It was sick. Yep.
And then at the DC day, they were still at first they weren't getting into it, but then like by Morte Dabo they were like throwing down.
Yeah, dude, because it takes, like I said, it's an older crowd that are like Slayer, Slipknot fans, Motorhead fans. We're a young band. Most of them probably never heard of us. So a lot of the time the set would start and they would just like listen, see if they like it or not, and like you said, more often than not, by the end of the set, fucking throwing down, having a good time. So yeah, great experience, very good tour, a lot of fun.
Very cool. So, tell me a little bit. Is your solo record still like in the works?
Yeah, I mean, I put it on hold for a little bit because I was writing the Asking record, and obviously that has to take priority. But now that I finished writing all the music for my for Asking's album, I'm going to start writing again for my solo record. I was going to start recording the pre-pro on this tour on my studio bus, but then we had a fucking bus crash. So now that my bus is getting repaired somewhere, so I don't have that opportunity anymore, but I'm hoping over the Christmas break I can find a studio back home in England to go and record in for a little bit.
So when you guys are like off tour, do you guys just stay here? Because I know Danny lives in California.
The tour finishes on the 16th and I'm on a flight back to England on the 17th with the rest of the guys. Danny's staying, the rest of us are going home.
How did you guys choose the songs for the new EP that's included with the Revolver subscription?
They were just something that we'd been jamming. We jammed them ages ago for fun, just on the studio bus. Like nothing serious, just was supposed to be a good laugh. We never planned on releasing anything like that. And Revolver hit us up and offered us the front cover. They're like, it'd be really cool if you could give us some exclusive songs off your new album. And you're like, oh no, there's no way. Well, you can have Run Free because we've released that, but we're not gonna like put anything else out there yet. It's not even finished being mixed or mastered. The vocals aren't even completely finished yet, So
how can they expect you to give something that's not even
exactly? And they were like, well, what about if you got anything like this? You did Skid Row covers, right? And you did an Akon Right Now cover. I'm like, yeah, we're not going to do another pop band cover. That was a long time ago for us. They were like, what about Skid Row covers? I was like, we've already done Skid Row, but we can give you some different 80s covers that obviously they're not, in my opinion, they're not as good by any means as the Skid Row ones, because the Skid Row ones we actually took the time to, we knew we wanted to release them, we took the time to make them sound how we wanted to, put our own twist on things. We sat down and played them for hours in the studio to get them perfect. These songs were just a bit of fun really, and it's not supposed to be taken seriously as like, Asking Alexandria changing their style. No, we're not changing our style, it's just a bit of fun. We thought
just fun.
Yeah.
I wish more bands would actually release more like cover EPs, because it shows that their influence, and like no, not pun intended with the EP cover name, but it shows a different side of the band that they can have fun and just jam out.
Yeah, exactly, which is more what that's meant to represent, really.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about the Ben Bruce clothing line.
I started that a while ago just for fun, really.
I saw a few people in line standing wearing some.
Yeah, dude, and it's gone really, really well, which is nice because I mean it's a hot topic now, which is great, and online sales are doing really well, and it's got to the point now where it's got quite an established name, and it's doing really well. So I want to try and start doing something good with it. Like my sister's a type 1 diabetic, and so I want to try and release like a diabetic line where a bunch of the proceeds and the money made goes towards like diabetes research and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a good tool to have at my disposal to help create awareness for stuff like that, and give back to the kids and stuff. And it's really nice for me when I see kids wearing it, because it just shows how supportive they are of not just Asking Alexandria, but me as a person, and myself as well. Yeah, so yeah, it's going really well so far.
So do you have anything you like? Are you planning anything new to release for 2013, like a winter line or a spring line or summer line?
I've got some winter stuff coming out within the next few days, actually, for this winter. And then 2013, yeah, I kind of want to release like a vintage line that's kind of more rocky, more sort of old school sort of styles, like Sex Pistols-y and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see. I'm working on some stuff at the moment.
Very cool. All right. Well, do you have any final words or thoughts for fans of Asking Alexandria, you or anybody else?
Not really. Just thanks for the support, and keep being as sexy as I am.
There you go. Thank you very much, Ben Bruce, for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Ben
Bruce of Asking Alexandria, Richard of RichardThinks.org. Watch out for the new album coming out next year, and we'll see you later.
Cheers.